Morning and welcome everyone to Intro to Intuition workshop. My name is Christy Berganzi. I am a mind, body, and soul intuitive living coach. And I am here today to help you find out what your psychic superpower is. Did you know that everyone at their soul essence is actually psychic? It's true. And intuition, even though we all are born with intuition, some of us naturally gravitate towards it, just like any other skill. Intuition is indeed a skill. So it does take practice, it takes understanding, and it takes a little bit of time working with other individuals who also are honing their intuitive empowerment. And that's what we're going to do today. So, welcome and thank you for joining us today for our Intro to Intuition workshop. What we will start with is we're going to go through what intuition is. We're also going to learn why it's so important. We're then going to see if you have some traits of intuition just naturally. We'll go through all of the different most common psychic superpowers, which are basically intuitive languages. Yeah, it's its own language. And then we will finish up by taking a quiz and finding out what your superpower is so that you can start practicing it on your own and honing your own skills. And if you wanted to, at the end, look into more guidance, just contact me, DM me, email me, or click the link below to get more information of how you can move forward in this type of process so that you can start living an intuitive life and lead that life that you were truly meant for by uncovering your authentic soul self and living through intuition. So we're going to get started today with what is intuition? What exactly is intuition? Intuition is the ability to understand or just simply know something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning, analyzing, those extra steps that our brain like to throw at us to come up with a conclusion. Our intuition just simply knows. And if you go off the guidance of your intuition, you don't really have to spend a lot of time on decisions that are even what we would consider big decisions. It just comes natural once you start honing the skill. It is so helpful in decision making. Decision making for us, we put as humans, we love to overcomplicate things. We love it, love it, love it. Intuition doesn't need that overcomplication. It just is. And you have within you the ancient wisdom and knowledge to be able to answer all of your questions in life without having to refer to someone else or someone who you might think is maybe more knowledgeable. You have all the answers within you. We just need to wake that up a little bit. That's really all it takes. After starting to hone into your intuition, you will never, ever, ever have to second guess yourself, your value, or your life choices again, which ultimately leads you to your path to purpose and fulfillment. So many times we live a life off of our to-do list or autopilot living. And we come to the point where we realize we're not we may be busy, but we're not necessarily fulfilled. And a lot of times, for women especially, we've lost ourselves somewhere along the way. And it's kind of scary realizing you might not even know who you are anymore. And the decisions you made leading up to this moment in time might not have actually been yours, even though you adopted them as your own. And you want to believe that these choices and decisions you've made leading up to this point so that you could achieve happiness and fulfillment, maybe was persuaded by outside influences more than we'd like to admit. And if you're suffering in silence from that lack of fulfillment and self awareness of who we are at our authentic core self, to the point where we don't even know what brings us joy anymore, it's time for change. So, why is intuition so important? Intuition is crucial in decision making. It allows us to make those decisions easy, simple, and smooth without the other noise. We get to tap into our own inner guidance. Did you know that before we came here, our soul is energy? Our soul does not die. We had a plan for ourselves in this lifetime. And if you are craving something more in life, it's because you are craving to get back on your path. Your intuition is so important because it is the only thing that will actually guide you back to you. You're the only one that knows what you truly want and desire in this life. Wouldn't it be nice to tap into your own limitless resources? They're built in. We have the answers right here. And it's so important because our actions will then be based on our decision making, and our decision making can be put in the hands of our intuition, which makes it so much easier and natural for us to get back onto the path of authentic living. This is more than just learning, ladies, this is more than just learning about intuition today. This is learning about who you are at your authentic soul self. We are so much more than we even give ourselves credit for. And we devalue ourselves on a daily basis. It's time to stop putting ourselves in the box that we thought we were supposed to be in. We did all of those things that we thought would bring us happiness and fulfillment. And if you're like me, I have all of those things. But a handful of years ago, I realized that didn't fully make me happy. I was slightly askew. And all it took was me tapping back into my own resources to get me on a path to fulfillment. And that is led by soul intuitive living. It's a mind, body, and soul connection to intuitive living. You are more than just your body, and you are more than just your mind. You are a living, breathing, spiritual energy having a human experience, which you are capable of tapping into your own psychic superpower whenever you want. And you can be as powerful as you want. Empowerment is key to purpose in life. Don't let anyone, including yourself, hold you back from who you truly are. If you're worried about spending time on yourself, taking away from maybe your family, your friends, your career, I promise you, once you find your true authentic self through intuitive living, all of those things, all of those aspects in your life that you're really living for right now instead of living with is going to thrive with you. The way you see the world around you is going to change because the way you see yourself is going to dramatically change. So, what are the signs of if you naturally are intuitive? I bet you are. If you're here, I bet you are. But let's give it a go, right? Let's just see. Have you ever, the first one, if you are intuitive, this may have happened to you. Do you notice coincidences? Maybe you're seeing things, thinking about something, and then it actually happens, or you're thinking about a person and then they call. That happens all the time. Well, maybe they text. I don't know. People don't really call these days much. You're intuitive. If that's ever happened to you before, ever, you're intuitive. And you're a lot more intuitive than you think, because the quieter you get with yourself, the more messages that come through more clearly. So a lot of times it's happening. We're intuitive. We're just too noisy and busy because we want to feel valued in our own mind and by others. So we shove a whole bunch of stuff in our day. And then we drown out our own voice, our inner voice. Number 2, second thing, you are naturally intuitive. If you've ever felt hidden danger, have you come up to a place where you just felt not right? So you avoided it, or maybe you didn't avoid it and you went in and you had a really bad experience. You knew better. Danger of a person, place, or thing, or maybe you're just a little sketch person. You meet someone for the first time and you're like, something about them's a little sketch. You know. Please stop second guessing yourself. And the third thing, if you are intuitive naturally, this is a cool one. Have you ever had spontaneous clarity? What is spontaneous clarity, you might ask? Well, I have the answer to that. Spontaneous clarity is when you've maybe been ruminating over a decision, thinking so much, working so hard to figure out exactly the right answer to something, or the way to approach a certain situation, or simply how to do something, or make even just a yes or no decision, and you keep going back and forth, back and forth. And then all of a sudden you're like on a walk or in the shower and the answer comes to you. That's your intuition. Spontaneous clarity is a strong superpower. Once you quiet your mind, stop paying attention to analyzing the outcome of your benefit. Keep in mind, we don't really know what is best for us. Going with the flow of the universal energy allows you to align with luck, abundance, and we can only do that if we quiet ourselves and feel into our intuition. So if you've experienced any of these 3 things that I've just talked about, guess what? You're one of those people I was talking about in the beginning that are actually naturally intuitive. Some people are natural athletes. Some people are not. But we all can be athletic, right? Or at least play, some sort of athletic sport. Intuition is a skill that we need to hone. So you are that natural athlete. If you answered yes to any of these 3 things, you're actually a natural. So can you imagine what it would be like to develop these skills, to learn how to develop these skills, to learn more about what these skills even are, and then empower yourself and start aligning to your highest purpose? It's right there. I was going to say right at your fingertips, but it's really right in your heart center and your solar plexus. All of our energy, our gut feeling. So, what are the different types of intuition? There are 4 most common intuition types. 4. The first one is clairaudient. Clairaudient. So that's clear hearing. Clair means clear. So when you see clairvoyant, now let's talk about clairvoyant real quick. Clairvoyant, for a lot of, it's a misconception that clairvoyant is what psychic is. That's not necessarily true. Let's talk about clairvoyant and we'll go back to clairaudient. Clairvoyant is having the ability to see visuals. Sometimes you see an image, but that's pretty rare. What it looks more like and feels more like is when you can see images flash in your mind, or when you close your eyes, something pops in your head. It's very similar to what we would think of as imagination. If we create a story in our mind, that's how clairvoyance comes across, through imagery, visuals, dreams at nighttime. When you think, do I want to go on this vacation or that vacation? Do I want to take this job or that job? And you close your eyes and you could see yourself yes or no in one of those 2 options. That's clairvoyant. So being clairvoyant, it doesn't necessarily mean you're, overall psychic. Psychic and clairvoyant are actually 2 different things. And what psychic means is having the ability to read the energy of the current situation. It's not a predictor of future, although you could use it to determine if everything stays in this same flow, more than likely what the near future will be. But being psychic technically isn't a prediction of anything. It's simply reading in between the lines of life that a lot of people don't. Picking up on those cues, listening to your inner voice, feeling those gut feelings. So clairvoyant is seeing images, visuals. A lot of times, if you are a visual learner, you're going to have clairvoyance as a natural ability. Let's go back to clairaudient. Clairaudient hearing. Have you ever driven someplace and you heard turn left, turn right, or met a person and something just said no? You literally, it sounds like, sometimes it can sound like a different person. Like, it definitely does not sound like a person standing next to you, but you can clearly hear a word or a phrase. There is a message in the audient. So clear hearing. A lot of times this comes through as it sounds like an inner reading voice, like when you're reading. So we might confuse it as our thoughts. But you can know for sure when you clear your mind, or if you're not thinking about anything at all and a phrase or a word pops into your head, usually associated with no feeling at all, that's 100% a clairaudient intuitive message for you. So the next one, the third one, moving down, clairsentient. What is clairsentient? We were talking about clairaudient is not associated with feeling, but clairsentient is. Clairsentient is the ability to really feel your senses, your gut feeling, your goosebumps that go up. I walk into a room and there's that shady sus person. You can feel it. I personally have been in the energy healing, life coaching field for over 22 years. When I was working on, and still do, in-person clients, I actually feel on my body what is going on in their body. Now, keep in mind, lots and lots of practice. But that does come natural, and you have it too. If you're a clairsentient, you know what I'm talking about. Do you go into Costco or Target? I love Target. Let's say Target. I love Target. Do you ever go into Target and you walk down the aisle and you just start feeling good, or maybe you get excited and you're coming up to something, you know you're gonna uh, uh, the flow is there. Or maybe you go into Costco and there's like too many people and it's overwhelmed because this person's happy, this person's not happy, this person's frustrated, and that person's sad. Holy smokes. I do not care to go into Costco usually. It's overload. So until you learn to protect your energy field, it's tough. Going into stadiums, events might be difficult. If that's difficult for you, if you know what I'm talking about right now, you're clairsentient. Absolutely. And honor yourself. You don't have to chalk it up to anxiety. You're just feeling. And we can come to an understanding and work on those skill sets so that it doesn't actually affect your life. You can use it to your benefit. And the last one is claircognizant. This one is clear knowing. When you can't explain anything, you simply know. You go into that job interview, then you just know, I got this. This one is kind of difficult because we always us humans, we always second guess ourselves. And a lot of times with women, we want to see validation from outside because a lot of us are people pleasers. So anytime we come up with something, especially if we don't know where it comes from because it just drops in. So clairsentient or a claircognizant is just a drop in, a mental download. And it came from it came from your intuition, but it just downloads, drops in, and you just simply know the answer. So an example of this is my husband and I and my child were going someplace. We stopped off to get my kiddo, he's 6, Chick-fil-A. We walk out, and as we're walking in the car, I did not think anything. My mind was actually someplace else to our actual destination. So I wasn't contemplating anything of the food. That was really the least of my worries. The food was there so that I didn't have to worry about anything else and focus on what I was trying to focus on. It came out of my mouth. There's check to make sure there's chocolate milk for my kiddo. I didn't think about that. There was no lead up to that. It literally downloaded, and because I am a free bird, it came out of my mouth. I heard it the same time my husband did. And guess what? He checked the bag, no chocolate milk. It was an immediate download, and because I don't hold myself back, it came out of my mouth. So that's an example of claircognizant. So, want to know which psychic superpower you have? We all typically have 1 to 2 strengths. So you're going to notice that you have 1 or 2 of these that come out more. But we have the ability to really practice and hone in on all of them. And not until I started working with my intuition, I actually thought I was more clairvoyant than anything else, and come to find out that I'm clairaudient. So as my first, and then I'm clairsentient, clairvoyant, and then, you're probably all of them too. And we can hone in and work on those skills to pretty much feel confident in all of them. So let's go into what your psychic superpower is. We're going to do a quiz now. So if you are maybe distracted, pay attention real quick. We're going to have 5 questions, and then I'm going to give you the answer to what you are so that you know which one you can start practicing at home. So here we go. We're going to pull up the old quiz. Beautiful. And I'm going to go walk through this with you as we begin the quiz. So, question number 1. You're about to go into a job interview and your intuition is telling you it's going to go well. What do you experience? A. Now this is what is more likely to happen to you, okay? This is and don't overthink this, just answer. A calm voice reassuring you this is the job. B, an image of yourself planting in a garden of fertile soil or something else positive. You just see something in your mind. C, you feel really relaxed and at home. Like once you walk in, you just feel like calm, like everything's okay. Or D, you suddenly get an idea that you want to make a point, like it came from nowhere about information about this interview or about the job, and it's in a positive spin. Or maybe, let's say if it's not, you get information about a different job. Either way, the question isn't really important. Your answer is. So A, B, C, or D. 2, your night flight is delayed and you're trying to decide whether to stick around for a later flight or go back to your hotel room. You decide to go back to your hotel, and it's because your intuition has shown itself in this way. Either A, you heard your intuition saying, go, just go, get out of here. B, you saw an image of yourself enjoying a nice bubble bath at the hotel, and that makes more sense to you than hanging around the airport. C, the airport is making you feel anxious. If you just all of a sudden start getting a uncomfortable feeling or anxious feeling. Or D, you had a sudden breakthrough about how exhausted you are. Like all of a sudden, with the information that was given to you about there being a delay, you really realized, gosh, I'm so exhausted. I'm going to go back to the hotel. Like it just made its mind up for you. That's D. Question 3. You recently started dating someone, or maybe it's a new friend if you're already married. Maybe it's a new friend, and your intuition is giving you a good sign, like this person is meant to be in your life. Which of these is most likely? A, you heard a voice saying they're a good one, or telling you a voice saying we like them. I like her. I like him. B, you see the two of you together in a future time, maybe doing something, and just like a vision kind of pops in mind. Or you're around them and then you see the two of you, you have an idea of like, oh, it would be great for you and I to go do this thing, but you see each other doing it together. C, you have a really good feeling about them. Like you just like being around them. It just puts everything kind of calm, ease, excited, happy. Or D, you naturally know, you just know. You just get it. Like, I just know this person already. Moving on to question 4. You're at a party and your intuition is telling you, okay, it's time. I see you, Wendy. C, maybe D. Okay, wonderful. So when you're already starting to notice certain things coming out, those are your strengths. Absolutely. Honing in on it more is just the next step. So you're at a party and your intuition is telling you that it's time to go. A, what happens? A, you hear yourself, like you're basically telling yourself, like, no one's going to be upset if I leave. But you kind of hear yourself. You think you're thinking it, but you're actually hearing it. You're hearing your intuition tell you, no one's going to be upset if you leave. Or B, you see yourself at home, snuggled up, watching in a way like Netflix or that movie you've been watching. Like all of a sudden it just flashes in front of your eyes. Like, I could be doing this, right? And that's how it's shown to you visually. C, you suddenly become tired or anxious. Like, so you're getting that feeling. You're thinking about this decision and your body, you might not realize it has anything associated to do with your decision making, but all of a sudden you start feeling a certain way. Listen to your feelings. You get tired, anxious, overwhelmed. That's your clairsentient telling you through intuition. Maybe it's D. You suddenly realize that your kids or roommates, oh, this is the best. Your kid and your husband or your roommate is not home. It like just dawned on you. Boom. I get so much free time by myself. Forgot about that. Didn't think about it till just now. That's claircognizant. Just download it in. Last question. You think you want to go. This is number 5. You think you want to go to a specific place for vacation. So how does your intuition tell you that this is the right spot? We don't want to waste any money. We want to go on the best vacation possible. Things are expensive these days. So we want to make the right choice. And so many people stress over decisions like this, which can be so simple. Life gets to... I have an aha moment for you. Life does get to be easy if you allow it to be easy. We make life so difficult. So how do we know that this is the right place to go? Is it more likely that A, you hear a voice saying, you'll have so much fun there, or that looks fun? Or B, you can see yourself in the location. Like you think about it and then you're picturing it and it feels right. Or you're just picturing it. Okay, then we'll move into, now you've got that vision. Now let's tap into clairsentient. How does it feel? So now you're actually not naturally putting yourself into that visualization, but you're asking yourself now to put yourself in that situation, and then you see how you respond physically. So B, it just, when you're thinking about it, it automatically comes to you. The difference is C, you're purposely thinking about it so that you can see how you feel, tapping into your feelings. Or D, you keep getting ahas of like things to do there when you're there. Like, oh, I could do this, I could do that. And it seems to just drop in. So now go ahead and look at your results and see if you chose mostly A's, your clairaudient intuition language right now is your strongest. If you chose mostly B's, clairvoyance is your strong suit today. If you chose mostly C's, clairsentient, that feeling. And if you chose mostly D's, you are claircognizant. So, which one are you? Which one are you? What is your psychic superpower? I want to know. Put them in the comments below. And with this, knowing what your superpower is, from here on out, I want you to pay attention. Pay attention to your psychic superpower. DM me, drop in our Facebook group, let us know how it's going. And if you want to learn more about how to really hone in on your intuitive psychic superpowers, know how to tap into your soul essence and have a method that will actually directly link you to your soul voice, learn all of the exercises and the ins and the outs of these clairs, and then at the end, start to embody your higher self by connecting in with the higher self-activation method to be able to channel and access that 7th dimension, to pull in the messages from your higher self energy, then I will put a link below. We are going to be having a 6-week intuition mastermind. It's going to be a small container of women who are really, really serious about learning these basic skills, but they are skills. So we need to learn them, understand them, and then practice them all together You get that combo of starting off with the slide method of learning how to slide into your soul intuition. Then we go into all of what we talked about today. And you get to really, really, really develop and decode, learn how to decode your psychic superpower so that it can best work for you. And then at the end, we tap in, we learn the higher self activation method to tap into accessing that seventh dimension to your higher self energy to directly receive in the energy of the answers you seek in your life. Going back to what I said in the beginning, once you start living intuitively, you will never, ever have to second guess yourself, your value, your life choices. And ultimately, it will get you on the path to fulfillment and purpose. It's a self-discovery 6-week journey with me and other women just like you. So if you want information, check out that link. Start practicing your psychic superpower now, or connect with me one-on-one, DM me for more information. I cannot wait to start expanding your world alongside of you in 100% support. So until I see you again, please remember to take all of you with you wherever you go. You are important and you are on purpose. We need you here. So let's get intuitive together.